The transfer portal extended window is closed. So now we can assess the damage that has been done from players transferring out. Any surprises? How about this new secondary that Alabama's got? You talk about transfer portal in. Well, they added there, and also the early signing class, which a lot of those guys have showed up to Tuscaloosa. And the secondary is going to be stout for the Crimson Tide, just like it was this year, next year. We'll talk about some Alabama players making history in the NFL. And one guy who used to play for Alabama that's now immortalized as a Hall of Famer in college football. All that coming up right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Roll Tide, everybody. If you're not part of what we're doing, make sure that you like and subscribe. And remember, we're brought to you by newlifeart.com. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate for a discount at checkout next time you're over there picking up your next Daniel Moore print when you're pimping out your man cave, just like me. Let's get this thing started. Roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? And welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. There he is, Big Mo in the house, Brett Elmore. And I'm Mick Gillispie, at Broadcaster Mick, at the Brett Elmore Show. What's up, brother?
Roll Tide, and don't say pimping out that room there, because Cat Williams may get after you for you were originally casted for the pimp there next Friday. I know, it's just between me and you. Cat doesn't know, though.
Yeah, right. What was the guy's name? Something Mike, right?
Yeah. He was.
How about Cat Williams right now? He went on Shannon Sharp's show. There's like 3 million views, and it's the hottest thing. I told you, I said, you got to check this out. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy, and it's the hottest thing on the internet right now, brother. And he didn't hold back, but yeah. Good stuff for sure.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit of Bama football, and we will get into some of what's going on right now at the capstone. I guess the biggest news is that it's being reported that you can add Kendrick Blackshire to the guys that are transferring out. Was kind of a surprise. But you know what? I mean, it's just kind of the way that the transfer portal works. I mean, some guys come and some guys go, but this was a big, strong guy on defense that I think a lot of us are disappointed to see leave Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, sort of a late addition to the transfer list. But, yeah, I hate to lose him, but you never know the reasoning behind all of it. We wish him the best, but hate to see him go. As far as the portal is concerned, we really didn't come out feeling like we've been punched in the gut or somebody huge that we lost. There's some other teams that are really hurting from the portal. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, it seems like we came out pretty much unscathed. I'm not saying that we didn't lose some good players. I'm just saying that we didn't lose some all-stars like some other teams did.
Well, they'll lose the linebacker Blackshear, so he's gone, and that leaves us with this list right now of guys that are leaving or have left. And I'm just going to kind of start from the top. Out of eligibility, Jalen Key, Will Reichard, Darian Dalcourt, right? All those guys are out of eligibility, transferring out. Ja'Cory Brooks is with the Louisville Cardinals. Tyler Buckner is with Notre Dame playing lacrosse. Anquan Barnes, Colorado, defensive lineman, playing for Coach Prime. Earl Little Jr. and Terrence Ferguson are both going to Florida State, along with Malik Benson to play for the Seminoles, right? So a lot of these guys are going to Florida State that they had a lot of openings. Center Seth McLaughlin to Ohio State. Roydell Williams is transferring out. Isaiah Hastings, defensive lineman, out. Tight end Miles Kitzelman is transferring out. Wide receiver Chaz Preston transferring out. Quarterback Eli Holston is going to Pitt. Safety Christian Story, not sure where he's going yet. Monkel Goodwine going to South Carolina. Linebacker Ian Jackson is also transferring out. So those are the guys right now that are all leaving.
Okay. Now, out of that list, who's the biggest loss?
Well, I think it's Roydell Williams because we're going to talk about McClellan declaring for the NFL draft, not transferring out, but going to the NFL. And Roydell Williams would have given you that guy who could have been a part of the running game and bring you the experience as well. You know, I saw him being kind of a, you know, not necessarily the featured back, but like a Brian Robinson type his junior year, you know, where you could hand him the ball, you know, you had other guys that could run it as well, but he'd be someone that would be in the mix, and he's probably going to get paid a lot of money to go somewhere else and play college football. What about you?
Yeah, I think he was a big loss. Also, you know, I really liked Earl Little. You know, I thought he was a promising young talent, but obviously he wasn't a big-time star like I was mentioning. But you know, I liked Earl Little, but that's a name kind of that stands out to me. But yeah, those two, I think, probably the biggest losses to me.
We're expecting Jace McClellan to announce that he's going to the NFL. And here's the list of players that have declared for the NFL draft from Alabama: Dallas Turner, J.C. Latham, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold, Chris Braswell, Justin Abigby, Jermaine Burton, and Tresman Marshall. Of those guys, who's the biggest loss in your mind?
That's a talented group. The biggest loss out of all of those, let's see, we got well, I was going to say Kool-Aid, but we have so many, and we're going to get to this too. So many people coming back in the secondary. I'm really not sure. Who would you go with?
Well, it's a tough one, right? I think it's Dallas Turner just because, you know, he made so many big plays during the course of the season. Kool-Aid McKinstry, a lockdown corner, and J.C. Latham on the offensive line, both equally as important. But if I could keep one of those guys, it would probably be Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, so let's change gears now. Now we know who's leaving. But let's talk about some guys that are coming in. Alabama had to retool their secondary, right? I mean, one of the guys that they lost, which was a little of a surprise, was Pope, who we didn't expect to be rolling out. And you would figure with the way that the secondary is right now, that you would think that guy would stick around and play, right? But they're going to have to replace him. And, you know, as part of that, they're going to have to replace Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid. Now, I think it helps a lot that Malachi Moore is coming back. But there's a very talented group of guys, 7 different recruits, transfer portal and, you know, straight out of high school that are coming in. And I think it's a really talented group.
Well, let's take a look at Alabama's 2024 secondary class. When you go down the list, man, we're going to be pretty much set in the secondary. 5-star corner. This guy's a transfer from USC. Damani Jackson, of course. 5-star cornerback Jalen Mbakwe. 4-star Zabian Brown. You have a 4-star in Zay Mincy. You have a 4-star in Peyton Woodyard. You have a 4-star in Jameer Grimsley, a 4-star in Rodarius Morgan, and then a 3-star and a legacy in Dre Kirkpatrick Jr.
Yeah, I mean, and I love it. I mean, you're talking about a really talented group of guys, and someone's going to step up here because there's opportunities for you to step up. It is tough to play corner in college. There's no doubt about it, and have success early on, right? With Damani Jackson, he was with USC last year, and obviously on a bad defense, but still, really didn't hold his own. But he still has the talent to do that. I got a feeling that he'll regroup in Tuscaloosa. Love the fact that we got Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. I mean, that to me is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Why not, right? We got Bam Bam Mincy, who was the guy that was in the All-American game, and on Saturday he said he's coming to Tuscaloosa. Do you think that Nick Saban, though, will be able to, what the team has and what they're adding, will be able to do a decent job trying to replace these corners?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're just looking at the guys coming in, and I think they all can come in and make an immediate impact. I really do. This is a great class, and we had talked about it, a month ago. I guess it seems like a month ago, when all the recruiting was going on, this early signing. But we were talking about how good this defensive secondary class was, and then, like you mentioned, the guy from Daytona Beach, Mincy, he was like,
can we just call him Bam Bam, please?
Let's just call him Bam Bam. Yeah, you're right. 6'1", 187 pounds, and that was just like icing on the cake, man, because he committed during the All-American game on Saturday. So that was just like icing on the cake.
Yeah, well, big pickup there, and for Alabama, they're going to need these guys to come in and immediately be pushing for playing time, starting positions because of the openings there. But I was surprised that Jake Pope transferred. Now, again, a lot of these guys had meetings with Nick Saban, with the coaches, about their status on the team. What they were expected to do or where they were expected to fit in this coming year. I'm guessing that most of those guys probably didn't hear what they wanted to, but some of them could have heard from other schools, hey, we'll pay you to come here and play right away. There's a lot of competition in Tuscaloosa, but it is exciting when you look at this group and the fact that there's so much star power in the secondary, because you're going to need it. I mean, you're trying to replace Kool-Aid, who's been pretty much locked down since he got there. And then Terrion Arnold, who used to get picked on and just improved to the point where, it was after the Ole Miss game where Lane Kiffin was like, I guess he got a lot better, and I think that was kind of, yeah, right. And that was kind of the beginning of having two great corners.
Well, the thing is with recruiting with Alabama, always finishing up in the very top 1 or 2, 3, whatever. Not much difference between 1, 2, or 3, really. But when you're signing classes like that, it's almost like, how do you keep everyone happy? Because you look around the practice field and you've got all-stars everywhere, and you've got kids who's going to be coming in just like these recruits who were all-stars on their team. They were the man, and now you're coming in and you look around and all of a sudden you're surrounded by a lot of men, the man.
Yeah, right.
And I think one of the toughest jobs of the coaching staff has to be, how do we keep some of these kids happy?
Well, with the transfer portal and, obviously NIL, you got other schools that are trying to buy players away from you, and that's a tough thing to deal with. And then you're right. I mean, it's been
you can't make everybody happy. I'm not trying to say.
Well, I'm saying on top of that, you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with players with egos,
right.
and You're right, man. It is tough. And I'm sure that's one of the things that Nick Saban hates the most about the job is he's got to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you just look down the commits. You say 5-star, 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 4-star, 4-star. It's a lot of all-stars, and they come to Alabama for a reason. They want to
right.
by Nick Saban. They want to compete for championships, and ultimately they want to go pro. And you look at we mentioned this the other day. You watch any NFL game. I was watching the other night during the weekend. You're sitting there and you're hearing all of these former Bama players.
Yeah, right.
And I think we've got more guys going to the Pro Bowl than anyone.
Well, how about 4 wide receivers that had 1,000-yard seasons or more, right?
Yeah.
Waddle did it, and Amari Cooper did it, and Smitty did it. You turn around and you're like, man, this is crazy. Like to see these guys put up these type of numbers and have huge seasons, And then we wanted to talk about Derrick Henry, maybe his last game as a Titan, and he passes Sean Alexander for the most rushing yards ever for an Alabama running back. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, and Derrick Henry is a class act. I don't know if you heard sort of what he said after the game to the fans. He was able to speak to the fans there on the field. But Derrick Henry's a class act. I really think he has some more left in him. I think his first 2 years, everybody's talking about like he's 30 or 31 now.
Well, he's 30. He turned 30 last week.
Okay, all right, he's 30. The first 2 years of his NFL career, he split time and really didn't rush the ball like a full-time running back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's got some left in the tank, obviously, and I think he's going to add to those numbers. Where I don't know, but he's a class act, and we obviously wish him the best.
Yeah, no doubt. One of the all-time greats
Yep.
in NFL history at running back, and I think eventually a Hall of Famer. But he had a big game to beat Jacksonville, and he'll be on a roster next year contributing. But the former Heisman Trophy winner will eventually be on the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, the Titans Hall of Fame, all of that, and just really cool that he grabbed the microphone after the game at center field and thanked everyone. Another former Alabama player getting huge recognition, Antinio Langham, who was on that 92 national championship team, had the huge interception in the first ever SEC championship game to help Alabama beat the Florida Gators. And that was when it was at Legion Field. Remember that first year?
Yeah.
He's a college football Hall of Famer. That is really cool.
Really, really cool. Langham is the Crimson Tide's 27th inductee into the College Football Hall of Fame. Of course, from Town Creek, Alabama. Did he play at Cortland or let's see. It either had to be Cortland or Hazelwood up there in Town Creek. But nevertheless, that is if you follow high school football, you know where Town Creek is and the talent that's come out of there.
Right.
Man, he was elected to the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame back in 2019. He deserves this. MVP of that game that he was talking about, the SEC championship game in 92, and became Alabama's first winner of the Thorpe Award in 93. That goes to the nation's top DB. All-American, All-SEC. I mean, a great career, went to the pros, and that's really cool, man. I'm two-time All-American, one of 19 players and 3 coaches inducted coming up this year, so congratulations to him.
Very cool stuff. Well, anyway, Brett, that does it for another episode here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Again, I want to tell you guys to use the promo code Bama Tailgate, 15% off your order at newlifeart.com. Regular price order right now. And, as time flies, man, we have seen them put together some amazing prints, including Gravedigger, which I call it that. It's really 4th and 31, but it's going to be Gravedigger to me. I know you like to call it the disaster in the pasture.
Disaster in the pasture, that'd be great. But Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. The only name that would have been better is Bigfoot. No, I'm just kidding. Do you remember Bigfoot? The monster trucks, right?
That's right.
Also, guys, as we hang out, don't forget that Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, in Philadelphia, Mississippi, an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours from Birmingham, and about the same from where Brett is in Jasper right now. They've got the sports book. You can go there, bet on college basketball, the NBA, the NFL playoffs, NASCAR, anything that you want to. They got a Vegas-style sports book right there at the Golden Moon Casino. They also have table games and slots. They've got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is awesome. And Ron White, the comedian, will be there. And the Wallflowers. Find out for yourself at New Life Art and at Pearl River Resort. And finally, the last thing I want to tell you is about our friend Chad Anderson at Modern Lending, helping families get into homes. He's going to be working with Brett really soon on this giant metropolis in Jasper that Brett's going to buy, the multi-million-dollar housing unit with the big built-in studio, bowling alley, and pool, basketball court. He'll get you set up with that, Brett. And you guys at home, you can count on him as well. Over 10,000 families helped, even people on the top end of the class spectrum like Brett. You can do it yourself with Chad Anderson's help. Modern Lending. He's an investment consultant and an Airbnb expert. You know him from the channel as well. Find out more at This Chad Is Real. All right, Daddy Warbucks. We will talk to you again soon and roll Tide.
I'm upgrading from a single wide to a double wide, Mama, here in Walker County. What you talking about, buddy? Come on, Chad. Help me out.
Help him out, Chad. All right, guys. Roll Tide. We'll talk to you soon.